It was shocking news for Pawn Stars fans when rumors began to circulate. Richard Kevin Harrison, better known as Rick Harrison, had been sentenced to life in prison. Rick, famous for his no-nonsense approach to business and encyclopedic knowledge on the hit show, suddenly found himself at the center of a serious legal scandal, something no one could have predicted. For years, Pawn Stars captivated audiences, diving into the fascinating world of rare artifacts, tough negotiations, and daily drama at Rick's renowned Las Vegas pawn shop. But now, Rick's flourishing television career has taken a dark, unexpected turn. What exactly happened to lead to such a severe punishment? Stay with us as we uncover the events that changed Rick Harrison's life forever and the shocking details of the case. Richard Kevin Harrison was born on March 22, 1965, in Lexington, North Carolina. At age 2, his family relocated to San Diego, California, where Rick spent most of his childhood. Diagnosed with epilepsy at just 8 years old, Rick was often confined to bed, sparking a lifelong love of reading, a habit that ultimately fueled his vast knowledge of history and collectibles. Rick eventually dropped out of high school but never stopped learning. Self-educated, he developed a deep understanding of history and business, foundations that would later shape his success. In his teenage years, Rick began working alongside his father, Richard Benjamin the Old Man Harrison, honing his skills in spotting authenticity and value. At 17, Rick's girlfriend Kim became pregnant, and the two married, eventually having 2 sons, Corey and Adam, before divorcing 8 years later. In 1981, the Harrison family moved to Las Vegas, where the elder Harrison opened the gold and silver coin shop. By 1989, it evolved into the now iconic gold and silver pawn shop, the future home of Pawn Stars. The early years were tough. Rick and his father worked tirelessly to build their reputation, dealing with difficult customers and risky deals that would later define Rick's famously tough persona. By the early 2000s, Rick had established himself as a Las Vegas expert in collectibles. Recognizing the entertainment potential, he pitched the idea of a reality TV show. After years of rejections, Rick finally sealed a deal with the History Channel. In 2009, Pawn Stars aired its first episode and became an instant hit. The show featured Rick, his son Corey, his father, the Old Man, and their quirky employee Austin Chumley Russell. Their humor, historical insights, and sharp negotiations captured audiences around the world. Rick's catchphrase, "The best I can do is," became iconic. Under Rick's leadership, the pawn shop grew into a Las Vegas tourist hotspot, spawning merchandise, personal appearances, and business expansions, including restaurants and books like License to Pawn, Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver. Despite personal ups and downs, including 2 divorces and a later marriage to Deanna Burdett, Rick remained a respected figure, admired for his rags-to-riches story and business acumen. In 2023, Rick's world turned upside down. Federal size. Agents raided Rick's Las Vegas home after a months-long investigation. Details were initially scarce, fueling rumors and speculation. The FBI, IRS, and the Department of Cultural Heritage Protection coordinated the raid, seizing computers, documents, and inventory from the gold and silver pawn shop. Rick's son, Corey, who witnessed the raid, described it as something out of a movie. Footage of Rick being escorted from his home quickly went viral across social media. As more details emerged, the gravity of the situation became clear. Authorities alleged Rick was involved in a massive tax evasion scheme, money laundering through high-value items, and the illegal acquisition of cultural artifacts. The investigation reportedly began after financial institutions flagged suspicious transactions, and complaints from former business associates triggered deeper scrutiny. The History Channel immediately suspended production of Pawn Stars, releasing a statement that they were monitoring the situation. Meanwhile, foot traffic to the gold and silver pawn shop dwindled. At first, Rick's representatives fiercely denied all accusations, calling the investigation a misunderstanding. But as the case progressed, disturbing details emerged. Authorities alleged Rick had manipulated valuations to evade taxes, sold stolen artifacts privately, and maintained secret bookkeeping systems to hide unofficial sales. A whistleblower, a former employee, provided key evidence, including encrypted messages discussing how to clean the provenance of stolen items. Rick was arrested, charged with multiple felonies including tax evasion, money laundering, trafficking in stolen property, and conspiracy to traffic cultural artifacts. Despite maintaining his innocence, mounting evidence weakened his defense. In one damning piece of evidence, Rick allegedly discussed structuring transactions to avoid federal reporting requirements, a major red flag for investigators. In court, Rick remained defiant, claiming political bias and injustice. But the courtroom fell silent as the judge handed down a life sentence. Corey Harrison put his head in his hands. Chumley, present throughout the trial, was visibly emotional as he left the courtroom. Legal experts were stunned at the severity of the sentence. Many called it disproportionate. However, the judge emphasized that Rick's actions had caused irreversible damage to historical and cultural heritage. "You presented yourself as a guardian of history," the judge said, "yet you participated in the looting of irreplaceable sites for personal profit." Rick's legal team immediately filed an appeal, but the request for bond pending appeal was denied. Public reaction was divided. Some fans launched the Soccer Free Rick movement, protesting outside courthouses and flooding social media. Others, particularly in the cultural heritage community, believed justice had been served. Supporters launched the Hearts for Harrison campaign, gathering over 100,000 signatures demanding a review of Rick's case. "We're not saying he shouldn't face consequences," said campaign leader Melissa Jenkins, "but a life sentence for nonviolent offenses doesn't reflect justice, and it reflects vengeance." Meanwhile, the History Channel distanced itself from Rick entirely, canceling Pawn Stars and pulling reruns from the schedule. The gold and silver pawn shop remains open under Corey Harrison's leadership. Determined to rebuild, Corey has focused on transparency, partnering with museums and enforcing strict verification protocols for all acquisitions. In an emotional interview, Corey stated, "What happened was wrong. We're committed to being part of the solution, not the problem." Chumley, who had considered Rick a mentor and father figure, shared his heartbreak. "I learned so much from Rick, but I've had to accept that there was another side I didn't see, or didn't want to see." Despite the scandal, Rick's fan base has rallied. Weekly prayer circles gather outside the shop. Fans are encouraged to send letters, cards, and mementos, lifting Rick's spirits behind bars. "Your encouragement has been a lifeline for our father," Corey shared. "He reads every letter and draws strength from them." Rick's dramatic fall from reality TV star and businessman to convicted felon has been called Shakespearean by cultural commentators, a stark reminder of the fine line between ambition and corruption. As his appeal moves forward, fans around the world continue to hope for redemption. If Rick or Pawn Stars ever brought you joy, the Harrison family invites you to share your support. Every letter, every prayer, every kind word, they matter now more than ever.